All right, I just walked underneath the Golden Gate, and so now I'm on the trail that stretches along the coast here on the ocean side. The headlands up there on the other side of the gate that extend out into that peninsula. Really cool hiking and stuff if you ever visit and you haven't done that already. And they've got all this, they've got these fences and trails now. When I first moved out here, none of this was here, and you could go hike or bike right at the edge. Some areas are kind of dangerous, others were kind of garden variety. You hurt yourself but not die. And then that's Ocean Beach over in that area, sort of where that cove is, where the sun's shining down, the reflection. And then some beautiful homes. Robin Williams used to live in an area up off the cliffs there. And anyway, you can hike all the way down. When I used to have my fishing boat, we usually would fish, outside of the bay. Fish in the bay are too polluted to eat for the most part, unless they're just coming in during, spawning. But yeah, we'd head out when it was safe, and I'd fish Seal Rock over there in that direction, kind of around the corner. Caught some nice halibut over there. And if you wanted to do some hardcore salmon fishing, you could go around the point over there to the right, and miles down the coast, up the coast rather, there'd be great salmon fishing up toward Duxbury. Also around that point, as you go up the coast, Stinson Beach is in that direction. And when my dad was out here in the Army, he was, after college, he went to Michigan State. He came out after college and was at the Presidio, and was still in good shape. Played basketball for the Presidio team, and he'd been a lifeguard growing up. He grew up in Three Oaks, Michigan, in Harbert, which is where his dad, Jumpin' Joe, built a gorgeous mansion, which years later was owned by the film critic Roger Ebert. His wife sold it a few years ago after he died. But anyway, my dad was a lifeguard in great shape. When he was out here, he was at Stinson Beach one weekend with my mom, and actually was out in the water quite a ways. I guess he said chest deep, stepped on a body, and it was a small girl whose parents weren't paying attention, and she had basically drowned, and she was on the bottom, and he pulled her out and saved her life. He actually saved a couple people's lives too, and where he was a lifeguard on Lake Michigan near the Harbert area. But anyway, some pretty cool stuff, some pretty cool memories. It's true what they say about a fishing boat, maybe a boat in general. The two happiest days, the day you buy it and the day you sell it. Ours actually took on the water and halfway sunk on the moorings over in Sausalito, where we kept it, and rusted the engine block. That was the end of that bad boy. We sold it for about 10% of what we paid for it, but it was a nice 6-year run. I think I calculated, based on the salmon I caught. One time I put down some Dungeness crab pots and had a little bit of success, and then the number of halibut that I caught over there in that direction at Seal Rock. I think my rough calculus was that the Dungeness crab cost approximately $1,000. The halibut were about $2,000 each. The salmon was about $6,000. So, like I said, your two favorite days, when you buy your boat and when you sell your boat. But actually, it's turned into a gorgeous day. The wind has completely died. I mean, you guys can see how calm it is out there, and you can see the way the water's rippling. It's an outgoing tide right now, so it's actually called slack, I think, and you can have some great fishing slack tides. There's something about it, if you're a fisherman, you know that the fish turn on at sunrise and start to eat, and then sunset, same thing. And in between, if you can catch a slack tide, There's usually some really nice fishing, but you can just tell by the way how calm it is and sort of the water rippling. We're right there. I don't know if you guys can even see that, but that's the sign of a kind of a slack tide. But actually, it's absolutely gorgeous out here finally. Anyway, I'll head back in the other direction, then we'll wrap up.